Good Saturday morning. I know that my notifications are not going out. YouTube has again sank me, but I am good. Come on in, hit that like button when you come in. Give everybody an opportunity to come in. I know a lot of content creators, not a lot, a couple content creators were live this morning, and I had been listening to them. I've been loving Lucinda's live early this morning. I just left in the safe zone. Y'all check out those two content creators. A lot of good things, a lot of interesting things going on. So I got a few things I want to talk about. I'll be here for a minute. Y'all hit that like button. Remember, you can support this channel through super sticker, super chat, or gifts, whatever, however. If you can, you can. If not, then much appreciated that you hit the like button and everything else. So definitely engaging, talking, feedback helps as well. But definitely hit that like button as you come in. I appreciate it. Even if you decide to sit up in the rafters this morning, support from the rafters is acknowledged. Thank you, Granny K, for the floating heart. Thank you so much. Support from the rafters. I know there are people that sit up in the skyboxes watching. And observing from the skybox. Hit the like button as well. Tap the screen 2 times until you see the little thumbs up. Hit the little 3 lines. However you see that like button, hit that like button. So let's start this morning out. Uh, Loving Lucinda first. She was going to take Molly to get her grooming and doing some shopping this morning. Y'all check her out. And we were talking about, her returning to work and, that summer dredge, last year, having a job that when you have a summer off, it makes you like, it makes you just like, you know. And so I understand what she's going through. And she was talking about, uh, we talked, there's some of the things working, retiring, and how many years. And the funny thing about it is when I got up this morning and everything and got myself together and went into prayer and did, reading and just getting my stuff together, focusedly in line with God. And just coming to Lucinda's channel and hear her talk about that. I'm like, how? Why? I'm thinking about the same thing she's thinking about, you know, working, finances, being content, not complaining. And I'm like, just all of that was just in a line like this is supposed to happen, right? So, because and being content and stuff like that, and about thinking about retirement and then not worrying how we should worry, and just learning that worry, that's we's not supposed to worry, right? But part of being a human part of us, we are going to think about things sometimes. We're going to worry. We probably have some concerns and complaints. But the thing about it, when we recognizing that we're in that mindset, we just go back to the word and going back to being thankful and grateful and recognizing, because we're human first, right? We're human beings, but we're going to have those thoughts. And I'm not going to beat myself up and feel ungrateful, because when I start to have thoughts like that, I can go back to the word. I can go back to knowing these thoughts are just what they are. But if I'm going to fall back on the word, if I'm going to fall back on his promises, if I'm going to fall back and just say, wait a minute, I'm still going to be grateful and thankful wherever I am at right now in this part of my life. So I thought about Lucinda, and I had already had those things written out, and I posted on my wall early this morning. So when you start to have those thoughts of not knowing and not, the future plans and decisions you made in the past and how they may impact you right now, just knowing his words and just knowing how he's going to fulfill his promise, and we don't have to worry, and we can just be content on where we are, and we can still work for the future, but just knowing that we are grateful and thankful for what we have right now, what is in our presence, right? Because I can think, I wrote in her chat that, you know what, I've experienced financial bliss, I experienced abundance, and I'm going to continue to experience abundance, and I've experienced loss, and I've experienced lack, and not to the point where it impacted me to a point where I gave up. I know what it is to have and not to have. I know now is to be grateful and thankful in the moments of having and not having, finding joy and peace when you got it and when you're not. And just finding those moments of that, right? You all have those pity parties, but you can always reach for the word. There you go. We get to those things sometimes. It's not. Don't beat yourself up as a Christian, as a believer, because sometimes you just have those thoughts. But when we know the word, we fall back, and that's what I'm learning. When I have those thoughts of sometimes, oh man, this is not going right. I get to go back as I become a better reader, a better learner. Get out of that moment because you know God. You know Him. He's done it before. He'll do it again. You know Him. You know God. You know His words. You know His promises. And if you done been through it, the thing is, you can go back and say, "Hey, I'm better at this. I know He's going to come through. I know He's going to come through. Wherever I am, wherever I may be, I know He is here, and I know He's going to bring me through it, and I know He has a plan, and I know it's for my good and lines up with His will." So I know. So when I start to have those little thoughts of what am I going to do if, I'm ready to retire now. I don't want to retire. I go back and forth. Well, now my plans is 65, but hey, it may change. It may change. I'm looking for 65, right? Things may change. I don't know. But right now, in this place and moment, I'm going to be grateful and thankful for everything that I do have. I'm going to be grateful and thankful for everything that He has blessed me with, provided me with, protected me with, for everything that He is doing in this very moment, and tomorrow, and what He did yesterday, what He's doing now, and what He's going to do tomorrow. I'm thankful and grateful for it. So, just coming in line with what Miss Loving Lucinda Lou was talking about, we're going to be all right. We're going to be good. We're going to be good. Even when we have those little thoughts and stuff and thinking about things and it feel like we complaining, we going to fall right back to what we know. And that's His mercy and His grace and being thankful and grateful. And that's how I felt about this morning. That's why I just said I want to come back. I said confirmation of all these things you come in contact with. So I'm good. I am grateful, and I posted some stuff on my community wall this morning. I hope you guys get a chance to look at it. No, I'm not over here doing drama. I'm not over here, cussing and cursing out people, and I'm doing what I know how to do now and what I want to do now. So this may not be for everybody, but for who it's for, thank you, welcome, come on in. Because I'm going to channels now that it means something when I get something from them that can not destroy me but save me and help me along the way. And hopefully my channel will be the same for anybody else. You can't hold past against anybody's past against them anymore. My past don't define me. What I used to do don't define me. What I'm at now is where I am. Okay. Sometimes when you're not in the will, you're in the way. Oh, I like that, Granny. Sometimes when you are not in the will, you are in the way. So thank you, Granny. I'm gonna pin that. Can I pin that? Thank you. Um, Hey, Bonnie Mitchell. So I felt good this morning listening to Lou. If you guys get a chance, she's school shopping for school, getting ready to return to work pretty soon. So she was shopping over there and doing her thing, the Lulu thing. So y'all follow, you get a chance. And welcoming Granny K Party Favors, y'all, as well. Y'all know Granny K Party Favors is a residential party favor lady. She's our residential suppliers of party favors. Back to school things that you need. Check out Granny K Party Favors. She can get your book bags in line. I guess your book. I don't even know if they have books anymore in school, because I didn't see any when I saw. I don't know what the kids carry in their book bags now, because as far as I know, I don't even know if they have real books. I don't know. I think they probably just have their headphones and whatever games console, because I don't even know if they have real books now, because I don't even know if you have to do book covers. I used to get the book covers and put on our books. Well, I guess Granny K can design book covers. I just think she can design anything. You know, Leave it to me. I tell you, Granny K can make designs for your TV, for your bed. Y'all know me. I say she'll make anything design. So book covers, book bags, designer things. The kids got the doggone. Oh my God, I see all these kids with that Stanley cup. Do you do the designs for the Stanley Cup Granny K favors? Do you do Stanley Cup designs? So, I guess you can personalize the Stanley Cups for you. I don't know. I'm just saying that I think she can put things on anything. So, y'all check out Granny K. What's up, Grateful 2? So yeah, welcome in Bonnie Mitchell, grateful too. So y'all hit the like button, come on in. That's the way I'm feeling this morning. I'm glad I was able to go into those chats this morning and those lives this morning and pick up some things. Was listening to In the Safe Zone, just sending my prayers out to In the Safe Zone. Things worked out. They went to court and settled that situation with her family that she lost. Y'all know she had a tragic loss in her family members, and the court case finally came to an end. And in a safe zone, and her family, most of her family, have found peace with forgiveness and just allowing themselves to heal now. So they're in that healing stage now. The court case is over, so now they're moving forward to today. We're moving forward as they move forward uh, within the peace they have found and letting this case come to an end and now moving forward with their lives. So blessings and prayers for in the safe zone and her family as well. Um, so a lot of things covered in the safe zone. Also covered, talked about her situation, her family member. Y'all know the tragic story of the mother who found the young man under the bed. I told in the safe zone I really wanted to cover that story, but I wanted to do it in a way that mindful of her being a content creator here as well, and with dignity, because in looking at the story and from what I know, I don't, you know, I looked at it as before we can judge, put ourselves in that mother's shoe first, right? I know she's dealing with a lot of lies that are being, and that's hard. But because of the thing of social media, people are going to create things. They want to throw things off. They're expressing their anger. They want to uh, clickbait, agitate. They may be family members of the whomever it is. You know, the lies and the narratives and the people putting their spin on it weren't there, right? So having to deal with that, I pray for inner safety on her family, because this is a journey that, yes, because of social media, that they will have to deal with those things. So you have to now pick and choose what you're going to listen to and what's going to be said out there, because people are going to be evil. They just set their day out to be devilment, especially if knowing that you're a content creator. If you have any problems in the safe zone, you're probably going to do things to target her. But again, she's covered, her family's covered, and I just believe that she's going to be okay. As well. Passing through will replay. Okay, in the service, goddess. Thank you and happy Saturday to you as well. Um, I appreciate that. Come back and hit the replay in the service, goddess. Thank you. So listening to In the Safe Zone, and in the story, and I just say, we don't know what we'll do in that situation as a mother. That's the only way I can look at it, because I don't know what that mother may have been going through. I don't know if that was her first encounter with this child, with this boy, and her daughter. We just don't. I don't know the full story of if any past history. Because something triggered, something happened, and if and I'm only can look at the perspective of coming home and seeing this man under my child's bed. I look at it that's the only way I can see it now, and probably see it when more information come out. But looking at it as a mother going to work, mother going to work. I have a 13-year-old child, a daughter, 13, a minor, still a baby, and I got a grown man, still maybe young, under her bed. This is going based on what I know. I don't know what that mother saw or heard at all, because it wasn't there. But I can only look at it as a mother coming home and finding a man under my child's bed. Okay? If And I don't know what, nobody knows what they will do. Because nobody knows the history, if there's a history, if there's been some warnings, if there's been some concerns. I don't know if that's there. I Because something happened. And I can only think, for me personally, looking at my perspective, fear. Fear that you're going to come back. Fear that, this is from me, not her. My thing would be, you going to keep coming. What did you say? Now, I'm not going, this is from my perspective, if I was to look at it. What did you say? Did you say something? Did you have some words after I told you to get out that triggered me? That lead me to believe that you may come back? I'm not saying this is what happened with her. This is what I'm thinking. For me personally, I found you. I'm telling you, get the heck up out of here. Do you have words as you're leaving? Did you say something that made me scared? Did you say something that triggered me? Did you do something that triggered me? I don't know what she experienced. Nobody will ever know, but from, as a woman, think about it, if the man, the father, now would it have been different if the father, if there was a man that walked in the house? Let's look at it from that perspective. What would your father have done if he walked into the house? Take the woman, because sometimes people look at it as a man walking in the house, the father, and finding the man. Oh, it would have probably been, okay, yep, that's what a daddy do. He would have beat. Think about it, if a man had dragged that boy from under his daughter's bed and beat him to almost to the last breath of his body. Can it also be looked at that between a father and a mother? Because we would expect the father to come in and drag him. Okay? We would expect the father to pull that bed apart, rip that bed apart, and y'all would find his body parts sprayed out through Tennessee. And they'd probably been, oh, yep, I would have done that too. I would have done that. See, that's the expectation of the man walking in. Right? Give me one in the chat if y'all think it would be looked upon different if it was between a mother and a father walking in that room. Welcome in, Sonya Vaughn. Let's talk real. Would it have been a difference if it was the mother or the father? Would it mean something different if it was a man or a woman who walked into that room and found somebody under their child bed at 13? You think it would have been a big difference? Would they say, yeah, I would have done the same thing? Yeah, that's what a man's supposed to do. What do y'all think? It would have been looked at different if the man, the father, had walked into the room. Anybody think differently? Would people be saying something different? Would they be more apathetic toward the father and say, yep, I would have done the same thing? Or are they looking at it, this woman? How do y'all think? Feedback. What do y'all think? Hit the bell. 41st wedding anniversary day. 41 years. Wow, 41 years. Happy wedding anniversary. 41 years. Congratulations. Congratulations in the service God is. 41 years. Y'all, congratulations to that. The wedding anniversary. I hope you guys have fun. Enjoyed your day in the service God is. Are y'all still here? Because y'all ain't giving me no feedback. Now, it's Saturday. I don't know how many people at work now. And I know if anybody's following this story, let me give y'all hands up. Because a lot of you may not know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, there was a story in Tennessee. A mother came home, and this is based on what I know, and found a young man under her daughter's bed. Under her 13-year-old daughter's bed. Whatever happened in between, unfortunately, a weapon was fired. And the young man succumbed to the injuries of the shooting, right? And so I'm not going to add anything to it because I don't have anything to add. I'm only going to talk from perspective of a mother as well, okay? That's it. I'm just going to expect from my perspective just that basic information right there. Walking into the room, finding somebody under your child's bed. We don't know what we were. I don't know. Some people say, I would have did this. I don't know what you do. You really know what you would have done? Do you really know what you would have done? Do you really know how you would have reacted? Especially if you're licensed and you have it on you, you have the pop out on you. Because sometimes if you already got it on you, sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes that time in between of going to go get it, look for it, will give you some thinking time, right? Hopefully, but if you are now at this point where you're fair and you got it on you and you don't know, you know, sometimes there's not enough time span to give somebody to think because of what's going on in the mind at that time. We don't know. So I think I saw something like that, Justice. Oh, okay, yeah, it's out of Tennessee. Mother walked home, was coming from work, banged on the door, say, "This is what I read," and like I said, this is all allegations right now, and what's happening on the story. Knocked on the door, say, "Who's in my house?" And go to the room, followed the daughter to the room, and found the man under the bed. That's the gist of what I had. I'm not going to add or take from it. I'm talking about my perspective on how you. Is it a difference between a man coming in the house and finding the father? Would we be cheering the father on, or is it different for a female? Anybody think it's different? Would the talk be different if it was a male that came in the house? If it was her father that came in the house, y'all think it makes a difference? Are people being harder on her because she's a female? I need y'all feedback. Y'all gonna let me carry this conversation. Thank you, Sonia. I think I saw something like that. Okay, if you don't know the story, then I guess you can't talk on the story. But just like I said, I don't know what I would do. Um, I can think about my personality. I would probably I would have probably tore up some things in that day. We would have been in that doggone room rumbling. It would have been a rumble. I can tell you that. I can tell you it would have been a rumble. You know, I can tell you, you know, I, Son Von, you don't think there's a difference. You say no. So expand on the no because I'm not sure what you're saying no to. You're saying no to that there's no difference on how people should look at it as a man and a woman. I think people are. I think people can lean more toward the woman not supposed to be acting like that. She shouldn't have done that. Well, that's a woman than a man cheering the man on. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I would have whooped his behind. I would have done everything, you know, even if I didn't use a pow pow, I would bring him too close to it, or maybe take him to it that he, you know. I just don't know. I was telling in Safe Zone as well. When cases like this is open, you want to, monitor. Make sure that everything is being monitored. Contacts, everything. Did the daughter know the guy and snuck him in the house and was just hiding from him? Mom, you know what? This Before I say yay or nay, um, I I need to let me see. Before I say yay or nay on that, I don't know. The thing is, he shouldn't have been there, right? Whether she snuck him in or not, he shouldn't have been under. He shouldn't have been in the house at all. For a 13-year-old, not a 18-year-old, not a 17-year-old, not a 20-year-old. You know, a 21-year-old hiding their boyfriend under the bed, an 18-year-old hiding their boyfriend under the bed. I don't know. I wouldn't like it anyway. Still, income, you would have probably got your butt beat, or you would have been drugged. But I think the mind, when you try to think of a man under the bed of a 13-year-old, whether she told him to hide there or he went there in hiding. Why was he there? That is the story, Sonya. He shouldn't have even been there. Whether he snuck in as a thief in the middle of the night, a robber, a rapper, or she opened the door and invited, she does not, as a minor, can consent. In the state of Tennessee, the consensual age in the state of Tennessee is what? A minor cannot consent if there was any type of relationship going on. She is not in the mind to consent to an adult. He had no reason to be there. She is a child. Even though I don't know anything about her and act sexual, whatever it may be, I can't even talk on that. But I do know she does not have the ability to consent to anything as a child. So we got to take that out. Even though she may have invited him in, she does not have the mental capacity by the state of Illinois, by the state of Tennessee to consent. And that's what they're going to look at. She cannot consent as a minor. Okay? Still a child. Still under the age of 17, under the age of 18. I'm not sure what Tennessee consensual law is, indicating that if that was the reason he was there in that house, that time of morning, that time of night, she cannot consent. He had no reason to be there under her bed, whether it be by invitation or he snuck in and she didn't know he was there. He was not supposed to be there. Let's let the fact of the case be here. She can't invite him in her bedroom. She could. She was wrong. She could, but by the law, if he was there for other reasons. If he was there for whatever reason he was in, we know. We don't have to lie. We know why he there 1 o'clock in the morning. Whether consent or non-consent, she can't consent. He was wrong for being there. Tracy, you're right. He was wrong for being there at all costs. Okay? Let me tell you, he was over the age, he was 20. If you guys are not familiar with Romeo and Juliet laws in your state, see if your state got one. I talked about this before. So if you got a son or a daughter who may like to date, and the age of consent is 17, and you got a 17-year-old boy or a 17-year-old daughter that wants to date a 16-year-old or 15-year-old or 14-year-old or 13-year-old, but the age of consent is 17, y'all better get to know the Romeo and Juliet law of your state if they have one. Because if your child at the age of 17 becomes sexually involved with a minor under the age of 17, there is no consent. That means that child can be charged. Okay? That child at 17 can be charged. Because if that child that they're dating is 16 or 15, there's no consent. I know a case like that. Not only did he get sentenced to jail, he picked up that the sexual predator charge as well, which he got on the registrars list as well. At the age of 17, he became sexually registered, and that impacted his whole entire life. So if you got these little 17-year-olds trying to date 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds and 14-year-olds out here, y'all better know the laws of your state. Okay? Know if there's a Romeo Juliet law in your state. Because your child can get on the sexual, be arrested, and placed on the registry. Okay? So if you don't know that, better find out. Okay? But let's get back to this case. It's a lot. Like I said, I want to talk about this case, but I want it to be in a way that, again, don't know a lot, don't know the mother's mindset, but just thinking from the perspective of being a mother. What would I have done? I don't know. But I do know that I would have been angry. I would have been upset. I would have probably been afraid, especially if I don't know who this man is. I don't know if he has, what has he done? What is the history? Has he been here before? Is there history between this child and this man? Is there a history between this man and her mother? Has there been warnings? If there is there a fear? Was there considerable fear going on? And the thing about it, as in a safe zone for this, is going to impact many lives, because her friend, this is, this is a lot. You have to make. You made that ultimate decision, and that's not something you have likely to do. Hey, Candy Jones, you just don't know what you would do, and that carries a burden right there, because you had to make a decision that you may not want to make, but this person put you in a position, and you're coming in your home when you at work this time of morning, and your child is 13 years old. The thing is, you don't know. I don't know. I can say what I think I would do. I can tell you right now, I know I tear up that house, and then once I deal with him, I'm going to deal with her. Thank you for the gold, Simon Center. I just know. Be right back getting my stuff. Like they said, I know some furniture would have been moving around in that house. I know she wouldn't have a door to her room no more. She might not even have a bed. She have, I don't know. I don't know, because there has to be investigation. There has to be more information released. I'm going based on what I have right now, and it's very little, but I'm just dealing with it as a mother. And I'm asking you guys to look at it. What would you have done if you were the mother? Do you say, I wouldn't know? Possibility? Is it according to the past? Is there any history? Or is it, heck, he got me on a bad night? As you all know, I was in that situation with my daughter, and she was 14 in Michigan. I did not have my firearm at that time, but if I did, he would have been out of here. See, beautifully healed. You got that on you at that time. The mother carried, if I'm correctly, I didn't think the mother had to go look for it. She has to permit to carry. And taking consideration, if that thing is on me at that time, your chances possibly of surviving this would be little or none. Right? Because me coming in that room and finding you in that particular situation with my 13-year-old child, a woman can't fight the man. A father would have probably drugged him, and a dad would have probably dragged him and beat him to his near death, and everybody would go, police officers would have been going, yeah, I would have done the same thing. I'm promising you. I believe if a man had walked in that room, flipped that bed, and bring that boy to the minute of it, I'm just saying, and bring him to the Pope, he had to blank one for yes, blank two for no. He would have put him in that state of mind. You're going to be blanking the rest of your life. You're going to be blanking. Are you hungry? Blank one for yes, blank two for no. That's what the father would have put him at. And everybody would have been, yep. All the men would have been in the chair, yep. Give him that. That's what I would have done. Do y'all think, again, being that a woman found the situation, I think somewhat, in many cases, it would have been different, may have been looked at differently. Okay? I still think we would have been pounding the fathers and putting up, yeah, man, I would have done the same thing. I said, he lucky, shoot, shoot, he walk away from that house, shit, he wouldn't be walking. I'll be judged by 6. He'll be carried by 6 and he'll be judged by 12. Huh? We beat the man. We beat their chest. Yes, he sure did. Yeah, pa, who I would. See, we get some. I believe we would have been giving more grace to that man than to this woman. You know, he did 5 years in prison and had to register as a sex offender. See, and how old was he? Beautifully healed. How old was the boy? Mama came home and found me with the boy. She whooped both of us. The boy never spoke to me again. My dad whooped me. Plus, I had to work to gain their trust back. So I'm glad they whooped me. Yes, yes, yes. The police station was less than a mile from my house, and I told the police they had less than 5 minutes to get the fire here, or they would be pulling him out in a body bag while we waited on the police. My son. Let me ask you a question. How old was he? Your daughter was 14. How old was he? Was he? Oh, he was. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't. You got to know the age of consent in your state. 17 is mainly. I don't know. In the South, it could be. Heck, I don't know about the South. The age of consent. I believe it's 17. I don't know 16 or 15 or 14 in other states, but I believe in most states the age of consent is 17. So a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old cannot consent, no matter how they want to give it. I don't care if they display it. I don't care if they put a soapbox on their head and go, "It's here. You can come get it." You eat that forbidden fruit, you're going to jail. You understand me? At 17, you're going to go to jail and you're going on the sexual registry. You go ahead and mess with them kids under the age of 17. Now, yes, there's society and most subculture or most social economy that happens. 17-year-old dating 15-year-old. They're senior in high school and the 15-year-old, 14-year-old freshman. Better be careful. Better be careful. If your 17-year-old son is dating a minor that cannot consent, and if that family get mad and get angry and find out and they report, he can or she can be arrested. If they can prove that there's sexual contact going on, they can be arrested, be charged, and he will be placed or she will be placed on the sexual registry. I probably didn't want to, but I wanted to tease my friend. I had a baseball player at my house. I had no idea what I was doing. So you wanted to damn look good for your friend. In Michigan, the age of consent is 16. So the age of consent is 16. So two 16-year-olds can consent. But a 16 and a 15-year-old cannot consent. A 14-year-old cannot consent to a 16-year-old. Okay? They can't. Two 16-year-old consent? Yes. Anything below that? No. 16-year-old cannot date a 12-year-old. I don't care how, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 13-year-old cannot consent. And then, let's complicate that matter. What if that child under the age of 16 has some type of a diagnosis, mental health diagnosis, a mental illness diagnosis, or some disabilities that hinders their decision-making process? Guess what? Take that in consideration. Also take in consideration if they're older than him and have mental issues with mental disabilities and stuff like that, that they cannot consent. You got to look at that as well. You got to look at adults also not being able to consent and being able to take advantage of. So you got to now also take that in consideration. The mental person's disability, if they have disabilities or things like where they cannot consent, even if they're of the age, they don't have the ability to consent. All that got to be taken into consideration as well, because you may have a 16-year-old that has a disability where she may be not mentally able to say yes, I can. She may have some I want to use the words right now that may not allow her to consent as a 16-year-old. Again, knowing the law, a 16-year-old that is nonverbal, maybe on the spectrum, maybe has limited capabilities of being able to make decisions, and you can take advantage of her. You can't, even though she's 16. You have to look at that. Young ladies and girls really don't fully understand situation can happen and get out of control real fast. Yes. So got to take all that in consideration when thinking about this situation. Now, getting back to the situation in Tennessee, um, like I said, if she had that on her, and again, I think, is there time for premeditation? I don't know. All the things that are there, I looked at it, if I was telling the safe zone, being that they let her out on a bond and a very low bond with that type of charge, they know that she's not a threat to society. That this is a mother that made a decision or out of fear, don't even know. Could have been fear, anger, could have been just redness in the head. I don't know, right? But apparently, the state of Tennessee says she's not a danger to society, so we can allow her to move into her case to trial or whatever. I'm hoping that this works out in a way that that is favorable, because you don't know what you do as a mother. Sometimes these kids, these men can be very controlling. Uh, Come back. You tell them not to come back. You tell them not to contact. They're gonna give you the middle finger, and that could put you in a state of mind. I done told, and like I said, I don't know. I'm talking about things that you may know if you ever had a situation. And of dealing with as an officer and dealing with the systems, I have known parents that lose, they don't know what to do. They done told this child, done told the girl, done told the boy, stay away from my child. You're not supposed to be around them. I don't want you around them. You too old. Leave my child alone. You don't know. We just don't know what a mother or father would do once they don't feel that they are at the back of the wall. Law enforcement ain't gonna do nothing, especially if you call law enforcement and they're like, well, we can go talk to them, but ain't too much you can do. So we just don't know how this thing looks, because it's gonna come out if they ever notified law enforcement before. Because a lot of times people do call. This man keeps coming around talking to my. I can't prove that there's not anything going on, and sometimes, again, let me say this. Sometimes, culturally, our kids are looked at differently because of their appearance. They look older. They don't look, and sometimes law enforcement has used this as well. They don't look like their age. Sometimes we look at kids, they don't look like 12 and 13-year-old no more, right? And sometimes, in many cases, law enforcement look at it as well. Well, you know, let me give you an example. Last night, my niece called me, and she calls me and tells me, what am I going to do? These people are walking up to my daughter, I'm the mother, and they're talking to her like she's an adult. This happened last night. They're talking to her. They're not even acknowledging me. They come to the table offering her drink menu. Now, this is the conversation I had with her. They walk up to the table, offering her a drink menu. They walk up to her as if she's an adult, asking her to take their pictures. They're approaching her as an adult. I said, let me tell you something. You got a 14-year-old, 14, wearing eyelashes. She's a good close to 5'10", maybe 5'10", wearing, if y'all seen a picture of my grandniece, she's taller than you. She wears those big eyelashes. She doesn't look like she's 14. You can't blame those people if she's coming out. I said, I've seen how she dressed, and I see what she wears, her makeup wise. You do not have a person that look like they're 14. You can't get mad at them. Because 14-year-old don't look like the 14-year-old when I was 14. These 14-year-olds don't look that way, and you can't blame people if you allow her to dress and wear the makeup like she does. This is what you're going. Now you got to figure out what you're going to do, because guess what? If they're approaching you as the mother when you're there, and they're approaching you as you're standing next to her as the mother, what are you going to do when she goes to the mall? And she's going to be going out without you. She's in high school. She's going to go to the mall. She's going to go to the park. Dressed like that. That you have approved to her to dress. Now, what are you going to do when you're not there? They're doing it while you're there. So red flag, red flag, red flag. If they're approaching her while you're standing next to her, and she's towering about 3 to 4 inches over you. Let me see, you about 5. So she's about, no. You about 5, what? 2, 5, 3, and she's about 5'10". What are you going to do? I said, now you have to look at what you're going to do now. Because it's nobody's fault. They can't, when she does, she got eyelashes, big butterfly eyelashes on. Okay? She does not look like she's 14. So, who is to blame? You can't blame the people approaching her, because apparently they think she's an adult because she looks like one. She looks like one. I told you that before. She looks like an adult. And I told her last night, I said, she looks like an adult. You need to figure something out. Because when you're not there, people are still going to approach her. Y'all went on a cruise. They approached her, offering her drinks. That should tell you that there's something wrong. Yes, our kids want to dress. They want to have the weave and the wigs and the eyelashes. If you allow them to do this, then you got to go what comes along with it. Okay? You allow your kids to walk out here made up to the T looking older than you, because I promise you, I see some of your kids and they look older than adults. Okay? I can't tell the difference between adults and the kids sometimes. Okay? You need to figure out what you're going to do. Because you got all kind of red flags letting you know right now, if they're approaching her and you're sitting right there and they can't tell that you're the mother, that's a problem. That's a problem. So I was straight up with her. You need to figure something out. You got to figure out if you think it's safe for her to wear all that makeup and to dress the way she dressed, which, you know, hey, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. Hey, Candy Jones. And like I said, going back again, I don't know anything about the 13-year-old and how she dressed and what she looks like. I don't know anything. But I can tell you about my 14-year-old niece that's going to high school this year. And her mom is concerned about people approaching her while she's standing right there. And I'm like, okay, she's in high school this year. A little bit more independence. Going more places where you may not be. And I said at that point in time, when they approach her, let me go back and tell you what I also told her. Y'all hit the like. Oh, thank you. I got the like. So I also told her, when they approach her, you need to let them know that is your child. That is a child. I understand. Thank you guys. That is my child. That is, and you need to do that in front of her, so you can set the boundaries and let her know that she is a child next to you. I said, do not let anybody approach her while you're standing there, and not let her know and let them know that she's a child. I'm sorry, is that embarrassing? No. That's establishing boundaries so she'll know that you see her as a child, and every other adult gonna see you as a child and see you as the mother. Do not let people approach her as an adult without you clarifying it in front of her. Hell with the embarrassing her. I'm going to let her know you're a child. and let them know this is my child. So there won't be no misunderstanding from her or them. Because if you allow them to approach her as an adult and you don't correct it, she's going to take it as, okay, my mama good with this. If you don't clarify right then and there who is the adult and who's the child, and clarify it in front of her, and clarify on those adults that are approaching her, you are giving her the okay. All right? And so I mean, I was like, sort of like, just, I was I was kind of like upset yesterday because I was like, yeah, you need to figure out how you're going to approach this, because again, it does not give a man or anybody else just because she's dressed like that. It's not an open door for a man to think that they can still, because they'll go, well, she told me she was 18. That law ain't by no way get you off. If anybody ever know a case like that where a man says, well, I thought she was 18 or 21 or age of consent, and I didn't know, did they ever get off on those type cases? Were they ever released because they thought she was? Anybody know of a case where a man was released because he thought she was not a minor? Anybody know of any cases like that? Because the man says, well, I thought she was 18. Well, she told me she was 18. Anybody know any cases where a man was released because of what he thought? What's up, everybody? Hit that like button. Come on in. Y'all ain't saying too much. We y'all driving, just listening. Y'all know I can talk, but y'all can interject. Say something, right or wrong, agree or disagree. What's your stance on it? What are you thinking? I know I done cover a lot in the past few minutes. Got on my soapbox for a minute. But y'all, come on. Say something. Candy Jones says right. Let me listen. The young ladies, girls really don't fully understand situation, can get out of control fast. And I gotta slow down when reading, y'all. Okay, I promise. I promise. Somebody. I would say that I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna try to slow down. This is something I've been practicing a long time. I know the conversation is kind of thick. I know sometimes. I don't want anybody to feel. Because I say it a lot, and some of you may have daughters that are in my grandniece's shoes. But I'm just saying it from how I felt about it. These kids are out here dressing, my grandniece included. Their fashion is different. They don't look like they're 14. They definitely don't act like they're 14 in many ways. But they fall back to 14 when it's advantageous to them, when something for them. But in many cases, I want to be this and that. But when it says I gotta be a 14, then I'm gonna be a 14-year-old. Okay, so I'm driving by great combo. Okay, combo, thank you. So sometimes they want to be 14. They want to be the child 14 when it's an advantage to them, and then they want to be I'm a young adult 14. No, you're 14. So they want to pick and choose when they want to be the adult 14 and the 14 that want to be like treated like an adult. No, you're 14. Set the boundary, set the balance. I told my niece, you better figure this out. You better figure this out quick. All right, because I don't know why she running around here and with those big butterfly eyelashes. Okay? My grandniece is beautiful. I posted pictures of her. But if y'all can look at her, if y'all go back, I don't know, at times she may look like she 14, but in other cases, she may not look like she 14 to most people. And then some people don't know she 14 and don't care and gonna try it. I would think that if you think someone is older, won't get the person out of trouble. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it has. I don't know of a case I've read where a man thought a girl was 18 and she was 15, and he didn't go to jail. and got placed on the registry. Ignorance is not bliss, right? It's not. No, you can't. No, no. Mm-mm. So again, you have to be careful out here. And again, we look at things from a man perspective. Think like a man. Think like a woman. A lot of times we gotta be thinking like, especially as single mothers, we gotta be thinking like men too. I don't care what nobody says. You gotta think through the whole gamut. What would you do? What would a man do? Okay? Because I know when my daughter started dating, hell, as tomboyish as I was, I became more man. Boy, let me tell you, my voice got deeper. Y'all think my voice deep now? Imagine when my daughter, the boy was interested in my daughter, and he came to the house. Okay? Oh yeah, my chest was out. Chest was not out, y'all know my chest was up. My head was up. My voice got a little bit deeper, and I was very clear on what would happen. I even would tell them, I like to take long drives through the United States. I'm gonna be like a Dexter on your ass, right? Remember Dexter? I have multiple plastic bags. Okay, I used to say shit. I used to say stuff like that. I got plastic bags for days, and I will travel this country. Okay, I will travel. I will travel throughout this whole entire country with my plastic bags. And y'all want to know what be in that plastic bag? So I used to say things like that. I was like, oh, I would remind them I have all type of, I used to be a police officer, and I have all types of this and that, and that I can, yeah. But now I became more manly than what a man can. You sitting in my house, I'm looking at you, chest out, looking dead in your eye. I want to scare you, okay? Let you know just because there ain't no man in this house, you must well think one is in this house. Because that's what I'm going to be up on you like. Because let me tell you, working in the prison, working in juvenile with these young boys had me. These young boys, I told y'all, these young boys gave me the game plan of what they do. Okay, once I learned how these boys move, especially in Chicago, because let me tell you now, the girls and the boys in the South, I ain't say they slow, but they ain't as fast as them boys and girls in Chicago. Okay? In Chicago and Candy, I know they different. They cut different. We got these little country bumpkins here in the South. Them boys and girls cut different in Chicago. Okay? Alrighty? Them boys be talking, man, we be dating, them little boys talking about they be dating grown women. Them boys be sitting up there like 14, 15. I don't know if they lying. But they're like, man, I date 20-year-old, 25-year-old. But you know why I say they weren't lying? Because, see, these boys were dealing. See, and a lot of time in Chicago, the shot callers, the boys that run those little gangs and little stuff right now be about 14 or 15 sometime. All right? They got the money. Okay? And yes, they're able to connect with these ladies that are in their 20s. Even at 15, they'll be telling, yep, all I got to do is flash. We could be bragging, because we air hustling. We do a lot of air hustling. Y'all know what air hustling is, right? We do a lot. I was doing a lot of air hustling. Some of it could have been lies. Some of them could just be braggadocious. They're trying to brag to the other boys. Yeah, man, I got this, I got that. I'm the hitter on the street, and I don't think nothing about 25-year-olds and stuff like that. So they put it out there like that. But let me tell you the game that they talk about. They said, okay, you know how we get in the house? You know how we get in the bedroom? Y'all listen to me. The boy said, let me tell you how we get in the bedroom. How we get in the house when them parents ain't home. Let me tell you how we do it. We get to know the parents. We carry the groceries in. Yes, ma'am. They're the Eddie. Remember Eddie on Leave with the Beaver? Y'all remember Eddie on Leave with the Beaver? That one that was nasty as heck to Beaver, but when he got around the mom and dad, he was this good little boy, helping them with the groceries. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. But as soon as they turn their head, he's slapping Beaver on the back of the head. That's the type of situation you got with some of these little boys. They going yes, ma'am, you. They going have conversations with you. They're going to make you believe they're good at, they're the best thing since white bread. And they say once they get with mama, oh, they got to get to the mama. They ain't right about that. They got to get close to the mama first. Once they get in good with mama, so daddy may not have it. A lot of times there ain't no father in the household. Then if the father in the household, they gonna sneak around and and try to get in good with the mama, and then the mama will try to just not give the dad the information. But they got to get close to the mama first. The hell, they probably never gonna get close to the dad if the dad is in the household. But they gonna work on the mama, and once they work on the mama, and the mamas think that they good, they just done the altar boy or they get the church, and they might be in the church, but they gonna use whatever tools they can. Even go to church with you on Sunday morning, but they gonna get in that bedroom. Because now you're going to feel comfortable with him. Ain't no more sitting on the living room couch watching TV with y'all. We're going to go in the bedroom. We're going to start studying because he done got to you now. He done worked you that you can trust him to go in your daughter's bedroom. Thank you, Candy Jones, for the star. You done trust him. He done worked you. He done groomed you. That little 14, that little 15-year-old, 16-year-old boy done groomed you. The one that's dating your daughter, 14, they high school together, 16 maybe. You may decide to let your daughter date a 17-year-old, even though, and she's 16, and she or 15, but you may agree, even though you know it's against the law. But you can't consent for your child. Your child is not able to consent. You can't say, well, I allow my child to do this and do that. No, state of Illinois said, hell no. So, excuse my language. So, once he done groom you, nicen you up, they're going to find a way to we can keep the bedroom door open. Can we go in the room and study? We got to keep the door open. You're like, oh, this is a good little boy. He ain't gonna do nothing. He done been over here. He done been to my house. He done ate dinner. He done been to my house 3 or 4 or 5 times. He's so nice. He carried the grocery out. He'll walk the dog. He take my daughter to the park. They nice. They come in on time. And then that one time they gonna ask you, can they go in the room and study? And you gonna walk by. You gonna like, oh, okay, just leave the door open. That gonna last for a little while. He ain't never come to the house. Well, he don't come to the house when I'm not at home. He don't never come to the house yet while you're not at home. But as time progresses, you will see that door start to close a little bit each time. And the door barely cracked now. The door was wide open. Now the door to a crack. Hey, it's Gamma's World. Y'all notice, y'all see what happened? Slowly but surely. Mom ain't paying attention to the door now. The door used to be wide open. Now the door barely open. He comfortable now. You comfortable. They done got, they up, down, they in the room. They done got to the kissing and the groping a little bit. Got the door open. But at that time, because he's a boy, that time you decide to go to the work or go visit with your friends, he gonna make his move. She gonna open that door for him while he's not there. These young men have learned to go, oh yeah, they talk about how they do it. They say you gotta get to the mama first. You gotta get to the mama. You gotta make the mama think that you best thing ever happened to your child. You gonna carry the groceries, carry the trash out, walk the dog. You gonna yes ma'am, and then you gonna do everything. Me couldn't get past me. Couldn't get past me. They were scared of me because my thing was plastic bags, multiple plastic bags. I got a bathtub and I got a saw. I'm just and lots of plastic bags. I'm going on vacation. Y'all know I would never do nothing like that, but I put the fear of God in these boys. I put the fear of God in them boys. So if you come mess with my daughter, I'm going to put the fear of God in you. You're going to think I'm a man by the time I'm finished with you. If I look like one, you're going to believe I'm one before you leave this house. So, yeah, I had to put that voice on. They laugh at my deep voice, but that shit, it could get deeper. Okay, and you know how deep my voice can get? If y'all think my voice, if you think my voice is deep now talking like this, imagine when it gets like this. So who your folks? Okay? Yeah, I'll base up in a minute on these young boys. And then I look like, and then I can, and at that point in time, at that age, yes, I will fight you. I will fight you. I will, you know, she's, uh. So yeah, said all that just to say, hey, be attention to these young girls and these young boys out here. Um, they don't look the same. You got young boys with full grown, be 16 years old with full grown mustache and beards. Beards. They got full grown beards, mustache, 15, 16, 14 years old. Already got full grown. I'm telling you, it's the milk. It's the food, that processed food that's making these kids look older. They don't look like what we look like at 14. And I'm not talking about dressing. I'm just talking physical looks. Our face was not as hard as these kids' face. These kids' face are hard today. They got some hard looking face. I mean, they can still be attractive and pretty, but their face don't have that natural softness we had as kids. I'm not saying my daughter does, my son does. Okay, okay, but a lot of times they don't have that innocent when they get to a certain age, that natural softness of their face. They got contoured face now and full length hair and beards and stuff, and it gotta be the milk. Okay, they look more mature. They don't look like what we look like. You can look at us back in the day, and then we were playing back in the day. We were kids back in the day. Okay, we were actually back. I say for me, I was a child's child back in the day. Okay, I was a child's child. I looked like a child. I carried myself like a child. These kids today, they're not out there playing jump rope. They're not out there playing softball in the yard. They're not out there swinging a softball, neighborhood softball game, neighborhood whatever we're doing, riding bikes through the neighborhood. They're not playing how we played. They look at us. We're talking about playing, going outside. They're not going outside in this heat. Hell, back in the day, the heat that we had, the heat that I won't go out in today. If I had the heat like that a couple of days in the summer, I didn't feel that thing out there until we pass out, come out and sun stink. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know when you get that sun stink on you, you've been outside all day in the summertime, and you get the sun, that sun stink. You know, but in the heat, that heat stink. That's that one that, yeah. As soon as you walk to the house, you walk to the damn bathroom. Excuse me. As soon as you walk in the house, straight to the bathtub, straight to the shower. That type of summer stink. They don't get like that no more. They don't get that summer. We've been outside playing all day in the summer in the heat. They don't get those. They sit in the house all day, look at technology. You ain't gonna get them to bust, and you wouldn't get them to bust anything outside right now. How many of your kids actually go outside and play? Tell it. Be real. How many of your daughters or son go outside and actually play like we used to play? Smelling like outside. You're right. They're dressing up and putting on makeup these days. That's what they do. They order. My niece and my daughter got more boxes from Amazon and stuff coming to the house. That's what they do. Makeup, weave. I'm like, does anybody know what these kids put weave in their hair this young? That if it's impacting their scalp? Is it impact that they're gonna be bald by the time they're 30? Putting all this stuff in their hair at 15 and 14? Are you gonna be bald by the time you're 50, 40? Because imagine your scalp is your bones in your head or whatever. It's not even fully, and you got chemicals and stuff in your head already at 13 and 14. You're gonna be a bald baby by the time you're 30. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm thinking if you pulling and stretching and your head still ain't fully mature to an age, you still got hair, head, scalp growing. I don't know when the scalp stopped growing, when the natural things of the body actually stopped growing, but I'm not sure at 14 it still got a lot of growing to do. So they're gonna be bald. You're gonna have a bunch of bald head people walking around here from by the time they're 30. They're gonna have full grown wigs because they ain't got no hair on their head. They start pulling at their hair at doggone pulling and putting all kind of stuff and processed stuff in their hair. More stuff, more stuff. So I'm thinking they're gonna have some bald behind people in the next 20 years. You're gonna be looking, everybody gonna be bald. My grands go out but come back in after 30 minutes. We left in the morning and came back before dog. Outside jumping rope and that's what I'm talking about, Gamma. Once we finish our chores in the morning, because we had to do chores, I don't know about everybody else, but once chores were done in the morning, and your mama opened that door and said, "Go out, be back before the sunlight, before the post light on," you were gone all day. You got to get breakfast, and then you got to get your chores done, and then you get the instructions of what to do once you get outside. Don't let nobody call me. Be mindful, don't just worry. But you got their motherly and instructions when you left the house. Where to go, not to go, and be back home at this time. And you've been out there all day, just outside stank. Okay? Smelling like outside. And then these kids today, they stick their head outside. Now they got the phone attached to it. It's too hot. They drive right back into their room, get on that internet, get on that doggone phone, and that's it for the rest of the day. Unless you move them. Okay? Unless you're moving them. And I had to stay within the sound of her call. What, Gamma? I don't know where the mom of them get, the mom of them, especially the mama. They got I'm telling you, their voice used to carry back in the day. You can be 3 blocks down. Rhonda! Dang! I ain't nowhere near the house. But I can hear, Rhonda! Or 3 of our names. Because my mom called 3 of us together. I don't know if anybody had a parent that when all the kids outside, they sit there and call all 3 together. Rhonda! Boop, boop, boop! And it was like a sound that carried through the whole neighborhood. It's like it targets you. I don't care where you at in that community. They open the front door, yell your name out, and it picks up in the wind and it finds you. Okay? That noise picks up in the wind and it floats and comes right to where you are. You 3 blocks, you might be, but you can hear it. And you better not tell them you didn't hear it. You heard me calling you. And I had to stay with the. So yeah, they got sonic voices. And we can hear when they call us. And Lord, don't let them come look for you. Because I don't know how they know, but they know how to find you. The car either sniff you out or they sniff you out, but they know where you are. Because remember now, we ain't had no cell phones, but they know exactly where to pull up at. They just know. I don't know if they had smells, so they can just smell their kids, but they was in close range to find you. And you're like, how they find me? You be sitting on the stoop of your friend's house and here comes the car. Well, I mean, dang, you ain't had no cell phone, you ain't got no tracking device, but your parents know how to find you. They know exactly where to pull up at. So, yeah, that's crazy, y'all. But it's different today. It's different today. The kids play different. They look different. They don't look like what we look like. They're more mature. But the part about it is, they still want to play the game. I want to be a child when it benefits me to be a child, but when I want to be an adult, I want to argue and let you know that I'm 15, I'm 16, and I get to be able to do this. But the moment I'm just 14, I'm just 15, why I gotta do this? I'm just 15. Okay, but it's still gonna get done. So yeah, but we got to be careful out here with our kids. We got to be mindful when they leave our home. We're asking the word. We're entrusting the word. We put them under God's cover. First of all, we know when they leave that we cover them by God, right? They're covered just like our home is covered. We cover our kids. We pray over them, and we ask God to guide them, watch over them, because He is where I am not. So we cover them in the blood of God. We just in the blood of Jesus we cover them. I said blood of God. In the blood of Jesus we cover them. We make sure that they are covered and protected, and then we go on about our day. But again, we got to be mindful. Like I told my niece, you got to fix this. Because if they're doing this in front of you, they're going to do it while you're not there. And you never know. Some of these people, I said, and I also told her, in these malls, y'all, and y'all be careful. You got daughters out here in high school, middle school, and they go into these malls. Don't feel comfortable because a woman is talking to them and approaching them because it's not a man. Because a lot of these people, a lot of these traffickers, use girls, young girls, or ladies to trap these girls, right? They encounter them intentionally. They'll have them come back to the mall to meet them back out of the mall. They will befriend them. And now your child wants to go to the mall because somebody she met at the mall and you don't know who it is. Don't be taken in just because they're meeting people at the mall that are their age or even older and they're ladies. They use these girls and women to groom these kids at the mall as well. Okay? Gotta be careful. Gotta know what your kids are doing. Can't live in fear. I understand that. Can't live in fear. But if you get some information, your kids are acting different and they want to keep going to the mall because they met this person, you better make a trip and see what's going on. Okay? I don't care. Make a trip and see what's going on with your child. They can get over the feelings later. But if they all of a sudden want to keep going to the mall because somebody they met, know what's going on. Trust them. Yeah, you can trust the kids as far as you can throw them. But I'm still saying, don't give up your spidey senses. If you start to get tingle spidey senses that something just ain't right, I'd rather be wrong than knowing that if I had acted on my spidey senses, I probably could have prevented something. Act on your spidey senses. You ain't got to be ignorant, loud, and ignorant and chase and run behind them, but find a way to get some information on the spidey senses. Oh, I don't want to be worried. No. Women has their gut, and we get that special thing, okay, called intuition, a little bit deeper than a man. We get that woman's intuition, mother's intuition. If you start to get spidey senses that something ain't right, better be wrong than right, right? Check it out. Ask questions. Ask questions. Because you notice the intensity has changed. Their attitudes may change. They may get more offended. If you ask more questions, they will become more offended. They will become more like, you got to trust me. When they start to do all that, they start to come back and you don't trust me, and you know something ain't right. That's how it looks. They will try to make you feel bad for questioning, for asking, and you're going to start to feel bad and you're going to back off. But if your spidey senses tell you need to find out what's going on and you might be wrong, you better act on your spidey senses. Okay? Because they're going to give you pushback. Because they're trying to protect whatever's going on. And it's going to be over exaggerated protection. You're like, well, I ain't never seen you act like that before. It's going to be over exaggerated. And if their behavior become over exaggerated and trying to protect what they know, pay attention. Pay attention to that over exaggerated behavior, because what they're trying to protect you from is something, what they're trying to keep from you, they know that you will not approve of it, because of that over exaggerated defensive mechanism that they will put in play that you have not seen before. But all of a sudden it's in your face and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Spidey senses, I gotta go to this mall today. Or even if they at the mall. Okay? Because guess what? Location change. They were supposed to be at the mall. You didn't know the location has changed. And that's going to be the first thing indicate. Because that's going to be the first thing that tells you if they start changing locations without telling you. Or not advising you, hey mom, I'm not going to be at the mall. We're about to go down to Julio's Pizza. They're used to telling you their movement. Now all of a sudden, over exaggerated, and now they're not where they're supposed to be. Spidey senses, your gut feelings, your intuition is telling you, look into this. Let them pout, let them cry, let them tell you everything, but you better follow up on your situation. Okay. Well, thank you guys. I've been here an hour and 22 minutes. I know people are probably driving and busy, but hopefully, this information helps at all. Like I said, we all different. We got different kids as well. What else? Oh, one thing. Put in my blessing. Was it blessing hot topic or Diva the boss? I got to go back. One of the ladies. I think it was. Who was it? I'm thinking it was blessing hot topics. About the. I got to make sure. Forgive me if one of those two ladies. Their voice sound the same to me somewhat. But it's one of those two ladies that updated me on Nolan Ryan's case in reference to, they posted it on my wall, on their wall, and at me on it, and it was a mortician, a funeral home director, a mortician, that talked about how the body is prepared and transferred once the medical examiner has done the exam. And it makes sense, right? So we're gonna close this out right quick. So listening to the body funeral director or mortician on I believe it's Blessing Hot Topics. If not, I'll share it and you guys can listen on my wall as well, and you can go listen to her wall. I believe it's Blessing. I don't think it was Diva. I think it's Blessing. Look at either one of them. Look at both. One of them has about the guy that does the family funeral director. He says once a medical examiner has finished with the body and the parts that they remove, the organs and stuff, once they finish their examination, those parts are put in a biohazard bag, marked what has been left, what is gone, and what the parts are, right? So there's a list of what the medical examiner has removed from the body. They list everything that is removed. And then it's returned, is when it's sent to the funeral home, it's in a biohazard bag, and it tells them what body parts are missing. So to say this, yes, the body parts that were missing from Nolan Wells' body should have went to Washington, D.C. in a biohazard bag for that medical examiner to examine. But it was not. It was removed and detained by the medical examiner in Mississippi. Some of the excuses are, but has not been actually stated, was for evidentiary purposes. Okay, then what was your findings? If you're holding the throat, the lungs, the stomach, the hyoid, what were your findings, and why don't I have your findings? Why are we still not able to say what is and what is not the cause of death? Why doesn't the medical examiner have that information? Yo, I can't know if y'all guys are here. Hit a one because it's been quiet for a minute, and I hadn't here seen any chat. So I'm not sure if, and if I go out, I'm not going to be able to see it. So let me go do something here. Let me say something. Oh, see, y'all been talking the entire time, and I didn't know it. See, I would think that if you think someone is older, want to get in trouble. I don't blame you, Justice. My goodness, it's Gamma's world. These young guys have learned how to get over the adults. Yes, they have candy. They do look more mature. You're right. They're dressing up and putting on makeup these days, smelling like outside. I think I went. I'm here. Okay, y'all still here. That was weird not to send the body cards. Yeah. They one now. This is what one of the dudes said on Nancy Grace, that the medical examiner from Mississippi kept the body parts because they're going to introduce it into evidence. I don't know why. You take the body parts, you got the evidence, you take the pictures, then you send the body parts over to DC. Still a chain of evidence. Because sometimes once you take something in custody for the state, you have to send it to the FBI. You have to, once you do your investigation over that part and examine it, you do a chain of evidence. You take it and you send it, you secure it the best way possible to make sure there's no further damage, and then the chain of evidence. Whoever touches that after you're finished is signed off, and it then transfers to the FBI, where they now accept the chain and they tell everything they did with it. And if they have to go back to the Mississippi, and it goes back to the chain of evidence, to the chain of the command, the evidence chain, right? You tell them what you did, what you examined, what you did to it, and it goes back. So I'm not sure why the body parts were not released to the medical examiner, because they need to make a conclusive. They don't have the opportunity to be fair. It's not fair that the Washington D.C. medical examiner did not get an opportunity to look at those body parts. And how they're being stored now for evidence, or how they're being secure, or they're in a freezer. What is your security? Now, because all through this now, through the evidence, custody evidence, or evidence chain, or whatever, you got to tell how you preserve that evidence. What did you do to it? How did you preserve it? Because if it's being all over the place, it's not being preserved properly, then whoever gets it next is not going to be able to do it. Is it more deterioration? Am I able to use it now? How did they store it? Because if they decide to give it to me later on, how did you preserve this evidence, right? How did you maintain to preserve whatever was left to make sure that I can do a proper examination of these body parts? So much is in the play, but again, not the medical examiner, the funeral home director states when they receive the body, after the medical examiner has done their autopsy and everything else, all the parts come in a biohazard bag along with the body. So we do know that they do not throw the body parts away. You know how I know that? Why? Because in Georgia, and I don't know why Georgia have problems with funeral homes. Y'all got some problems in Georgia when it comes to burying people. You hear me? I don't know why y'all have problems in Georgia when you start to bury people. Either you done stole the people out the casket and put the people in the ground. People buy a casket, the family members get caskets. You take the people out the casket, put the people go back and take the casket. Then y'all just have too much going on in Georgia when it's time to bury people. Okay? There's always somebody done robbed the grave. They done took the casket. Everything in Georgia. I'm sorry, Georgia. Y'all get a hardcore problem when it comes to burying people in Georgia, okay? Man had, I believe, they delivered, what's the last story I read? They went to drop off the boys' belongings. They went to the family house And supposed to return, I believe this was in Georgia. I believe I read this in Georgia, y'all. They went, you know how, they want to release the clothes back to the family? How they didn't release the clothes back? They gave the family the boy brains, his body. They end up leaving the boy body parts, brains and stuff, at the mailbox or in the mailbox or whatever. They supposed to retain his clothes, return his clothes and stuff to the family. They end up returning the brains and stuff. The man opened the bag up and the boy brain, the family member's brain, was in the damn bag. Yeah. See, that's what happens in Georgia. Georgia has so many things. They've had so many problems with funeral homes in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure other states have them. But I just remember it's always been Georgia with the people stealing the bodies, not stealing the bodies, stealing the coffins, or improperly burying people. Buying the coffin and realize there are people in the coffin and they don't take the coffin or keep the body. People think the people buried or whatever, and they still got the bodies somewhere. They went to the funeral home and find all the people bodies and everything. Man, yeah, Georgia's something else. Yeah, Candy, they supposed to return his clothes and they end up returning the bag with his brains and stuff in it. I'm like, look at this, this is madness here, but it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Um, yeah, most definitely. Oh man, y'all, conversation was good. I appreciate y'all. Know I ran the gamut on everything that I can. Like I said, I appreciate the engagement. All most of the stuff was allegedly opinions, some facts, but mainly alleged opinions. Just allegations, y'all. So again, I appreciate the conversation. Whether if you agree, fine. If not, fine. I'm not. I'm just here to have a good conversation. I enjoy it. Everybody get to share how they feel about it, and yeah. So y'all be careful out there, man. And um, just know that hey, we gonna be all right. Hang in there. Be safe. Be awesome. Be the change that you want to see in the world. I'm about to go walk Kobe. It's lunchtime. Let me see. Yeah, it's lunchtime. He letting me know it's lunchtime. So, y'all be cool. Be awesome. Be the change you want to see in the world. Love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. If I don't see y'all tonight, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. And thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for the likes. And y'all have a great day. This is Justice React. I'm gone.